everybody. We are so glad that you came to join us to the Sun, Moon, and Stars. We are your friends from Liberty Vineyard Church, and we're here to spend time together with one another through music. And so I'm Pam. I'm going to be your MC. Actually, Shelly's also. She's the one giving out our stars and hearts and rainbows. She's going to be the MC as well. Miss Karen on piano. And then Paul, there, I was looking at Paul, but Patricia over on camera and words for the music. And Paul, he is our, what do I call him? Tech guy. I'm not good at that, but tech guy. There he is.
So hey everyone, you know it's a really bittersweet time for me because my dad just passed away last week. And we had planned this set a couple of months ago. And we're going to keep coming and do music as long as we have, breath and life and all that good stuff. But I just wanted to just tell you all how much this means to us that we get to come here and be with you guys. We have become very, very fond of all of the staff, all of the residents, and all of the families that come and visit regularly. And so thank you. I just wanted to share that. We hope that the gift of music that we share today will awaken each of us to more wonder at the handiwork of our loving Creator in all of the varieties of beauty and brightness in the skies above us. All glory to God. And at the back, there's a verse from the Message translation of the New Testament. You get a hint at the diversity of resurrection glory by looking at the diversity of bodies not only on earth, but in the skies, sun, moon, stars, all these varieties of beauty and brightness. And then last night, we have a midweek prayer meeting every week in our church on Zoom. And we have a repeated line where we pray the same thing over and over. And last night, I couldn't believe it. It said, it's part of a prayer, it said, overwhelm us with your beauty, Lord, and make us to shine like stars. So that is our prayer today for each one of you, each one of us. And
the sun. And yay, we can sing a little bit of it lately.
Yay. Give a round of applause for the sun.
The sun is the star at the center of the solar system. It is a massive, nearly perfect sphere of bright plasma. By far the most important source of energy for life on Earth, and a great thing to sing about. Song number 1 is one of the Beatles' happiest songs that opened the second side of Abbey Road with a burst of joy. Here Comes the Sun by George Harrison.
I will tell all of you, I love the sun. I've got the earrings, I've got the t-shirt. I wish I could go there and not burn up if I got too close. That is all. Do you have a favorite superhero? Spider-Man has unique powers, relatable struggles, and an iconic costume. Batman has detective skills, great gadgets, and a strong moral code. Wonder Woman is a powerful Amazonian princess who is strong and compassionate and fights for justice. Iron Man has technological prowess and a captivating personality. But today we're going to sing a song about a superhero who debuted in 1938 with this catchphrase. Look up in the sky. What comes next? It's a bird.
It's a plane. It's Superman.
This next song is Sunshine Superman by Donovan Leitch. Even if I'm looking at them, I still make them up as I go. Something I've always done. There's a nursery rhyme that is often sung to children as a lullaby called You Are My Sunshine. Let's say that together. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.
You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
This song is Sunshine of Your Love by Jake, Bruce, Pete Brown, and Eric Clapton. morning. We squint because that helps the light focus more precisely on our retinas, helping us to see more clearly, especially when our eyes are still adjusting to the light. This song is I Am Beginning to See the Light by Don George, Johnny Hodges, Duke Ellington, and Harry James. Did you know that sunshine has a positive impact on our mood? Sunlight stimulates the production of serotonin, a neurotransmitter linked to feelings of well-being and happiness. Exposure to sunlight can also boost vitamin D levels, which are linked to improved mood and mental health. As this next song says, I need to laugh, and when the sun is out, I've got something I can laugh about. Even better, shared laughter can strengthen social bonds and relationships. This next song is Good Day. Oh, I love this song. I love this song. This next song is Good Day Sunshine, another Beatles song by John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
Special way.
Song number 6, music and lyrics, were written by an artist who was a child prodigy and has been blind since shortly after his birth due to his prematurity and detached retinas. He is now regarded as one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century. Stephen Hardway Morris, better known as Stevie Wonder, you are the sunshine of my life. Feel sad sometimes, a normal part of life. But if we are in darkness too much, maybe when the days get shorter or because the drapes are drawn and there aren't any lights on, you might be affected by a kind of depression called SAD, seasonal affective disorder. No matter why we're feeling sad, it can help us to spend some time outside when the sun is shining, or switch on a couple of extra lights. This next song is Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone by Bill Withers.
Sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And this house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away.
Is there anybody here from Canada? I have a couple of friends that live in Canada. And has anyone here ever visited Canada? What did you think of when you think of Canada?
Snow.
Yeah, very cold. No matter what we're going through, even when the sun has set, we are never alone. God is always with us. God seemingly even comes to us out of nowhere, like the sun up from the hills. Song 8 is Canadian Sunset by Norman Gimbel and Eddie Hayward.
Okay, we're now on to the moon. Let's start with a couple more nursery rhymes. Please say the first one along with me. Hey diddle diddle, the cat
in the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon.
The little dog laughed to see such a sport, and a dish ran away with the spoon. And let's say the second one together. I see the moon, and the moon sees me. God bless the moon, and God bless me. This next song is How High the Moon by Nancy Hamilton and Morgan Lewis. natural satellite, and the same side of the moon always faces us. The moon's apparent size in Earth's sky is about the same as that of the sun, allowing it to cover the sun completely during a total solar eclipse. The moon has been an important source of inspiration and knowledge for humans since the dawn of time. Song number 10 is Moon River by Henry Mancini and Johnny Mercer. Is there anyone here from Vermont?
From where?
Vermont.
No?
We're close. Vermont, nicknamed the Green Mountain State, is known for its natural beauty and unique cultural quirks. It's the birthplace of who does not like ice cream? I'll finish that sentence. It's the birthplace of Ben & Jerry's ice cream and produces more than 3 million gallons of maple syrup each year. Vermont's motto, adopted in 1788, freedom and unity, reflects the balance between individual liberty and communal well-being. Song number 11 is Moonlight in Vermont by John Blackburn and Carl Susdorf. 12 astronauts, all men, have landed and walked on the moon. Let's do a pop quiz and see how many we could name. Let's not say we did. The initials for this first one, N-A. Anybody have any ideas?
Neil Armstrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
The next initials, B-A.
Buzz.
Buzz Aldrin, yes. The others are a bit harder, so I'll just read them. We'd be here a long time. Pete Conrad, Alan Bean, Alan Shepard, Edgar Mitchell, David Scott, James Irwin, John Young, Charles Duke, Eugene Cernan, and Harrison Schmitt. Hopefully we'll have some more crewed flights to the moon soon. Several nations, Japan, India, US, China, and Russia, have announced upcoming missions. Song number 12 is Fly Me to the Moon by Bart Howard. About the sun and songs about the moon. Now we are on to the stars. Let's start with an English lullaby written over 200 years ago and beloved by children everywhere. Everybody knows this one. At least the first person. Twinkle, twinkle, little star,
How I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star,
when one thing shines upon, then you show your little light. Twinkle, twinkle all the night. Then the traveler in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. He could not see which way to go if you did not twinkle so. I'm not singing the rest. I pooped out. In the dark blue sky you keep, and often through my curtains peep. For you never shut your eye till the sun is in the sky. 'Tis your bright and tiny spark lights the traveler in the dark. Thou I know not what you are. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. That's beautiful. Song number 13, Swinging on a Star by Johnny Burke and Jenny Van Housen.
swing on a star, every morning home in a jar, and be better off Yay, that was a fun one.
So when we look into the night sky, it is possible to see about 4,000 stars with our naked eyes, all within the Milky Way galaxy. In Atlanta and with older eyes, we are pretty happy if we can see 10, aren't we? For as long as people have looked into the sky, we've seen patterns or outlines like Ursa Major, the great giant bear, also known as the Big Dipper, Ursa Minor, the Little Dipper, which includes Polaris, the North Star, and Orion, the Hunter, along with his famous belt. Song number 14 is Stars from Les Miserables by, and I'm not going to pronounce the name. Do we have any stargazers in the room? You know, like anybody that loves to just go outside and gaze at stars? I know I used, well, before I got older and my bedtime got earlier, but when I was a kid and a young person, that was my favorite thing to do. And anyone with a telescope? Okay. We remember using those a couple of times at school. There's a free app you can get for your phone called Sky Map. You just point it to the sky at any time, day or night, and it will show you the name and position of the stars and constellations and planets and even the International Space Station. Song number 15 is See the Light by Alan Menken and Glenn Slater.
Bye.